بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين.
Interpretation of the Holy Quran.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. With the help of Allah, we started to have interpretation of Quran. We reached to the chapter Inshiqaq. This chapter is revealed in Mecca and it has 25 verses. The name of Inshiqaq is taken from the first verse of this chapter. Is as-sama'u inshaqqat. Inshiqaq means split. Since it is revealed in Mecca, like other chapters that have been revealed in Mecca, the main basis, main issues of the chapter is the issues of Judgment Day. What is going to happen before the Judgment Day and in Judgment Day. The signs for Judgment Day and situations of believers and disbelievers. Before the Judgment Day, the system of this world will be changed. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala was talking about the heavens, and before the Judgment Day, even the heaven, the system of the heaven will be shaken, will be changed. The mountains will be collapsed and the seas will be joined to each other. So all the signs of this world, all the attributes of this world that shows that everything is organized before the Judgment Day will be changed. Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala talks about our trying, our deeds, our works. That if we do something good, we are going to get a result and be rewarded. We will get the file with the right hand. And if a person disobey Allah and commit sin, doesn't care for anything, definitely he is going to get his file with his left hand and he will be punished. This is Sunnatullah. This is the law of Allah. Allah has some laws for the people and has some laws for himself. Laws of the people are like the orders. He orders the people to do this, to pray, to make a fast, to have pilgrimage, for example. But to himself, that we name it and he named as a Sunnatullah, وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَبْدِيلًا. It means Allah's law is not going to be changed. One of his law that he has obligated to himself. He has planned for himself that every good person, if he has done something, definitely he will see the results. The bad people also, they are going to see the reflection of their deeds. This is Sunnatullah. We have some narrations in Tafsir Surah that it says if a person recites this chapter along with thinking properly about the meaning of this chapter, is going to help him in Judgment Day. And Allah is going to give his file to his right hand. It means he is going to be happy and blessed in Judgment Day. Such a person can achieve happiness by reciting this chapter, but not only reciting along with thinking properly. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ. Please listen to the verse 1 to 5.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا السماء انشقت وأذنت لربها وحقت وإذا الأرض مدت وألقت ما فيها وتخلت وأذنت لربها وحقت.
Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ, when the heaven is split asunder. وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبَّهَا وَحُقَّتْ, and attentive to her Lord in fear. وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ, and when the earth is spread out. وَأَلْقَتْ مَا فِيهَا وَتَخَلَّتْ, and cast out all that was in her and becomes empty. The time that the earth, anything that it has in it, it will throw it away and it becomes empty. وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبَّهَا وَحُقَّتْ, and obeys its Lord and its must. The time the earth will be submitted to Allah 100%, and it deserved. It means even if we want to submit to somebody, the best person is Allah, and also the earth before the judgment day will be submitted and will obey Allah, and it deserves to obey Him. When Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, أَذِنَتْ لِرَبَّهَا, what does أَذِنَتْ means? أَذِنَتْ, it means he obeys Allah. وَحُقَّتْ, it means it deserves to obey Him. It means sometimes we obey a person, but we should not. We obey a person because he has money. We obey another person because he has a good job. He has a good, I don't know, degree, for example. But he is a sinner. We should not obey. It means it is not deserved to obey him. But Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, I am the one that if you want to obey, you should obey me. Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, the time that the earth will bring everything in it outside. إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا, when the earth is shaken with her violent shaking. And after that, the earth brings forth her burdens. It means anything in it. Here Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, وَأَلْقَتْ مَا فِيهَا وَتَخَلَّتْ, anything in it, it brings out. And in another verse, chapter Zilzal, Allah says, وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا, and the earth will bring anything in it out and it becomes empty. What is inside of the earth? Treasurers and dead people. It means this is a sign of a judgment day, that the earth becomes upside down. When Allah is talking about the heaven, He says, وَبَنَيْنَا فَوْقَكُمْ سَبْعًا شِدَادًا, the chapter Naba, verse 12. And we made above you 7 strong ones. Of course, this is the normal systems for the heaven. But the sign of judgment day, before the judgment day, the same heaven that was so strong, and Allah said it's so strong, Allah says, إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ, the same heaven is split asunder. وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبَّهَا وَحُقَّتْ, it means everything on the existence, on this world, the existence of anything is under His supervision and His control. Earth, mountains, seas, land, men, women, all the creatures, they are going to obey Allah, and they obey Allah and it deserves. When Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبَّهَا وَحُقَّتْ, and the earth obeys Allah and it deserves, we will understand that also the nature has some types of understanding. Although we cannot understand deeply that how it is, but we understand that they have some type of understanding. It means they obey. It means if they obey, it means they understand what is obeying and whom they should obey. So they understand, although they are not like human beings, but in their level they have some types of understanding. Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said, وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ, when the earth is flattened and level. Of course, the changing of the earth, when Allah says the earth brings everything out, turn everything out, it becomes empty, it will tell us that one of the signs of Judgment Day is changing the earth. It was not leveled. But when everything becomes out and everything turns out, then the earth becomes leveled and flattened. Listen to the verse 6, please.
يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه.
Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه. O man, surely you must strive to attain to your Lord. A hard striving until you meet Him. In this verse, Allah is talking with the human beings that you are born and you are going to suffer. I have created you and I would like to examine you. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, I'm going to examine you بشيء, with different things, sometimes by property, sometimes by taking some members of your family, sometimes some parts of your, I don't know, energy. For what? Allah says to examine you. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ, sometimes by scaring you. To see that do you remember Allah all the time or sometimes? All of us, we worship Allah, but sometimes when everything is perfect, we are going to worship Him. But if we lose something, we are losing our belief. Have you seen some people that they are going to punish Allah? When they face some problem, they say, okay, I'm not going to pray. It means he punishes Allah because he faces some problem. He doesn't know that Allah is going to examine all of us by problems. It is exactly the same that a person, a student, goes to class. In the time of exam, he will say, oh my God, since this question is too difficult, I'm not going to have exam. Okay. If you are not taking the exam, you are not going to achieve the degree. If you are not going to have exam in front of Allah, you are not going to be rewarded. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح كدحا إلى يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه. You are going to try and you should try, but in such a way that sometimes even you hurt yourself. Allah wants to tell us, get ready for problems. This is the way that this world is created for. And in the time of the problem, you should not forget Allah. When Allah says, فَمُلَاقِيهِ, until you meet Him, it means every day we become closer to Allah. It means we become older and older. Definitely one day we are going to die. 60 years old, 70, 80. Every day we are going closer to death and closer. So we are moving toward Allah. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala in chapter Baqarah, verse 156, He says, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Indeed, we belong to Allah and we are going to return to Him. When Allah said, Innaka kadihun ila rabbika kadhan, it means it is a warning to you that you must get ready for problems. Problems sometimes is financially, sometimes, I don't know, educationally, spiritually, physically. But there is something that there is no way to run away from that, and that is having the problem. Sometimes if we have financial problem and we look at a person who is rich, we think he has no problem. But we should know that all of us have problem, but in different way. In the history, there are certain rules. One of the rules that it is written for this world, and Allah has written, is to have problem. We should learn to deal with the problem and to appreciate Allah all the time until we meet Him, as Allah says, Ya ayyuhal insan, innaka kadihun ila rabbika kadhan famulaqi. We ask Allah to help us to pass the exam. We should not ask Allah not to examine us. This is wrong. We are created to be examined. But we can ask Him, oh my Lord, help me to pass the exam. I am weak and I need your help. I take refuge to you and please help me. Thank you very much for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.